First, place about 2 tablespoons of butter in the pan along with the steak. Make sure the steak is coated thoroughly with the butter. Then you're going to want to cover the steak and cook each side for about an hour and a half. If there's any gristle or anything like that, you're going to cook it to the point to where you should be able to just take a fork and it should be able to just slide right through the gristle. So anything other than bone should be really, really soft and falling apart and stuff like that. And you should be able to just about have the steak falling apart. Not quite that bad. You could take it that way if you wanted to. You could potentially overcook it that far, but I don't really like it that way because it loses some of its firmness. And I usually just do about an hour and a half on each side. And then what you want to do is you want to actually take all the juices there in there, and you want to evaporate the excess water. You don't want to boil it though, or like fry it away, because you don't want to burn any of this stuff, because we're going to actually put it back on the steak in a little bit. So after it's been drained, and we will be placing the juices inside of like a dish or something like that. All the fats, the little bit of butter that's going to be in there. That's all going in the dish, and then we put the steak back into the pan, and you got to be careful when you're moving it around, because if you have cooked it properly, it could start to fall apart, and the bone could maybe try and fall off on you and stuff like that. It will be really, really tender and want to fall apart. Now, the steak at this point should be really, really juicy. And you can't really see it in the photos, but it's really wet. Like if you picked it up, there's like juice dripping off and stuff like that. That's how wet it is. And you want to sear it, and you want to make sure you get the sides and stuff like that when you're doing it, and really kind of make sure all of it's seared just right. You can use a torch if you want to, but I didn't. And you want to get it. As you can see, some of this brown, this caramelization coming up, that's what you want to get it looking like. After you sear it to about where you want it, then it's pretty well done. And this should be about what it looks like when you're done, but let me see if I can bring up a video here. Yeah, we want to play this. This is it, having the juices poured on it. You're just going to want to take some of those juices and pour it on the steak. You can not do this if you want to, but it tastes so good when you do this. So it's really nice. And this should be your final product, and it should be really juicy. We're talking, it's so wet when you're eating it that you probably will end up with juice running off your chin a little bit. Kind of like if you ever have eaten a really juicy peach. That is what will end up happening with steak juice when you're eating this, and it is really, really good. And you can add ketchup if you want to. But this is the final product. As you can see, it's like actually starting to fall off the bone. It's like falling apart. And this is not dry or anything like that. This is like if you picked it up, it's like starting to try and fall apart on you and stuff like that. And it tastes really, really good.
Everybody down!